Good morning, everyone. Lovely to see you all here this morning. I know that this is an unusual format because it's a webinar and potentially used to Zoom where you can actually chat to me. So if you do have questions as we're moving through today, I'll quickly explain to you how they work. But first of all, just making sure you're all in the right place. We're making the most of Meta Business Suite this morning. It's a webinar. And just to let you know a little bit of housekeeping, today's session is being recorded and it will be available to you via the Business Station YouTube channel. So keep your eye out for that. Today is a 1-hour webinar and we will definitely finish on time. So don't have any panics about running over time or thinking that you need to be available. We will be finished. It's 8 a.m. here in Perth and we'll be finished just before 9 a.m. this morning. Now, if you have some questions, please choose a couple of ways in which you can share them. So we have a webinar chat that you can pop some questions in. So I put a little comment in there when we got started. I'll just say hi there. So I can send that to everyone. There you go. So a little good morning to you all. We also have, because it's a webinar style format in Zoom, if you haven't attended one of these before, you can actually put some questions in the Q&A section. So across the bottom of your Zoom, you'll see a little section that says Q&A and you can pop a question in there. Now I have that screen open beside me so that whilst I am teaching, I will be able to see that and answer your questions nice and promptly. So if you have a question, feel free to pop it in there. We do have a wee bit of time at the end, but I would always encourage you to ask your questions as we are going. It's much easier from your perspective if we do that. All right, so just a little bit about me. Hi, I am Sarah Thomson. I'm the owner and founder of Online Social Butterfly, and I've been a specialist trainer and advisor with Business Station. It'll be 4 years in March, so I've been part of this program, and I absolutely love being an advisor under the ASBAS program. It allows me to connect with lots of business owners. So if it's not something that you've heard of before, it is a program that is funded by the federal government, and it allows you as small business owners to access things like this webinar. We do online workshops and we also do one-to-one advisory. So if you would like to work with an expert advisor such as myself, the cost is $44 for 3 hours. And at the end of today's webinar, I'll let you know how you can find out if you're eligible for that program. Most people are eligible, but there is a criteria that the federal government sets out. My background is in marketing and communications. I have worked, next March, I'll be celebrating 12 years in business in digital marketing, which seems unbelievable because I sometimes feel like I'm still new in business. Prior to that, I worked in corporate marketing and communications for 15 years here in Perth. I worked quite a few years in Sydney and also in the UK. I do have lots of qualifications, but we've only got an hour, so I won't read them all. But if you would like to connect with me, I am Online Social Butterfly, and my favorite platforms to hang out in are Facebook and Instagram. Just going to take 1 second just to close my office door. Hang on. I've just realised that normally my children are at school at this time and that they're actually all home in bed because it's school holidays, and I'm probably really loud and annoying. So I've closed that door so I won't bother them and they won't bother us. So good morning, Sue. Nice to see you. So just before we get started, I wanted to give you a little bit of a background on understanding Meta as a company and Meta Business Suite. So Meta is the parent name that Facebook rebranded to in September last year, so over 12 months ago now. And the reason they did that is simple, is because the company name Meta now reflects the fact that they have a whole stable of brands inside their portfolio. So these are the brands that they now includes. It includes Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Oculus. So if you didn't know that they owned all of those brands, you can now see why they changed their company name from Facebook to Meta. And you will see this translate through to a lot of things. So at the moment, we're in transition because I work a lot in ads, and we're transitioning our ads from, it was called Facebook Ads Manager. It's now simply called Ads Manager. And I suspect that we'll see that called Meta Ads Manager, because with your Meta ads, you can place them in different platforms other than Facebook. And it's not really reflective of what that actually means. So we will see that name start to roll out in more places, and know that when they're talking about Meta, they're referring to all of the brands that they have in their portfolio. So today we're going to be looking a little bit at Meta Business Suite, and know that this has been set up for you as a business owner to allow you to manage your business, your Facebook and your Instagram. So it's a bit like your mothership, and what it allows you to do is it allows you to manage both of those tools at the same time. It has lots of tools inside it that I'm going to walk you through today. So if you haven't used it before, a couple of things I want you to know. There is an app and a website that you can use for Meta Business Suite. So I would recommend you download the app onto your phone. It's super handy to have when you're out and about on the go. I find it with the new interface, you know how Facebook's changed the interface, so you have to switch between like Sarah Thomson and Online Social Butterfly. I'm not loving that, if I'm honest. I do find if I jump into Meta Business Suite, it's much easier to me to get straight to looking at perhaps my inbox or something like that. So that's a really great place for you to start. And I would encourage you to put the app on your phone and have a little play with it, because remember, we can't break it, but we can use it as a tool to help us manage our business. I hope everyone's got a nice cup of tea or something to start their day, because it's nice and bright and early. Okay, so we're going to jump over to my Facebook account, because what I think is really important for you to understand is how you can access Meta Business Suite. And as I said, the app is a great choice, but we're going to jump over. So I'm just going to stop my share. And I'm going to bring you back to sharing my Zoom screen, which is, you're looking at my preview there. And now we're actually looking at my Facebook account. So you can see in the top right-hand corner, we're actually we're in Sarah Thomson at the moment, because that's my photo. And if I click on that, I can switch between the accounts. So that's really, really easy to do. But I wanted to show you a couple of shortcuts before I do that. So if I want to open Meta Business Suite, on my left-hand side of my menu here, you can see Meta Business Suite is right there. So I can click on that and open it there. So that's a nice, quick shortcut for all of you. The other thing I can do is swap between my profiles. And then when I'm now logged in as Online Social Butterfly, you can see I've got my Meta Business Suite there. But if I cross over to my page, you can see that my professional dashboard, a lot of these things, including Meta Business Suite, are there. So there's lots of tools here that will take you across to Meta Business Suite. But the choice is really yours as to how you want to do it. So if I click on here, you can see on my shortcut here, I've got Meta Business Suite as a shortcut on my menu, simply because I want to get to there nice and quickly, and I don't want to be faffing around going through Facebook all the time. So it just makes it a lot quicker for me to do that. All right, sorry, I just lost my chat, making sure you're all still there. All right, so this is the Meta Business Suite homepage, and this is like the kind of bird's eye view of like what's happening right now in your business. So it's a bit of an overview. So you can see that I have got Facebook and Instagram both connected. If you don't have those connected, you really want to do that, and you can do that on your left-hand menu, and I'll show you how. But we can always go to managing our Facebook page or go to Instagram straight away if you kind of see your accounts and want to do that. The to-do list is really, really handy, and I love having a look at this because this tells me a few things. Now, I did just check my messages this morning, but it will tell you if you have unread messages, which includes your DMs on Instagram and your PMs on Facebook, which is really, really handy. It also says I've got some posts that I've left as drafts, which is handy to see as well. So those kind of things are really terrific, and it's good to see what's coming up and what you need to do. It's also got your comments, and for me, mine has leads. That's because I had a lead generation ad, and so it wants to tell me that I've got some lead forms to download. If yours doesn't have that, don't panic. It's because I use a very specific type of ad, so you may not have that there. Now, over on the right-hand side here, we've got our goals. Now, these allow us to set a little goal. So the goal is only for you, and it allows you to set a goal in terms of what you would like to grow in your business in Facebook and Instagram. Now, I'm going to show you when we get to the insight section how we actually set a goal for our business, because I think that's incredibly helpful. So Tara has asked the question, with connecting of Facebook to Instagram, as I have a different Facebook account in my maiden name, I can't seem to connect it to which is set up in my married name. Is there a way that I can? So Tara, when you're connecting your Instagram account to Facebook, you typically do that in Instagram. You can do it in Meta Business Suite, but I find it easier in Instagram. So when you go to connect it in Instagram, let me just tell you the exact instructions on how you do it. 1 second, because I haven't done it for a while. So we go to our profile, and when we're on our profile on Insta, sorry, my blind's open, you can't see very well. I go to the hamburger menu, which is the 3 lines on the top right-hand side. I go to settings. I then go to accounts, and I then go to sharing to other apps, which is a little bit obscure. So when I go to sharing to other apps, it shows Facebook, okay? But what you need to do, Tara, is once it says Facebook, it'll connect it, because remember, you manage your Facebook business page through your Facebook account. So I manage Online Social Butterfly through my profile, Sarah Thomson. So when you try and connect your Instagram account to Facebook, the first thing it does is connect it to your personal Facebook profile. So it'll connect to Sarah Thomson, and then you have to go next, and then it will connect it to your Facebook business page. So I suspect you hadn't quite got that one step further. I've seen that quite a lot. We kind of get there and go, oh no, I don't want to connect it to my personal account. I want to connect it to my business page. So as long as your personal profile on Facebook is admin on your business Facebook page, it's really easy to connect that. So that's how it works. Hopefully that will fix your problem for you. Okay, so if you don't have goals, Karen, don't stress, because the goals are what we have to set up. So if you haven't set any up, they might not be there. So hold tight. You don't have the left-hand column with goals and insights. Do you mean this one here? Or this one on the right here? Again, just make sure you've refreshed your screen, because if you don't have goals and insights, it's because you may not have set up your accounts yet in terms of connecting your Facebook and Insta. But those will start to appear once you have some data coming through. So as I mentioned, all right, I'll just quickly put that I've answered those. So that's done and done. All good. Sorry, I just got to keep on top of the chat. All right, so the goals, as I said, we can set them together in insights, so hold tight. This is a bird's eye view. So you should have, I was going to say most people should have insights, so I'm surprised that they're not there. It also shows us, as I scroll down, what's new in Meta Business Suite. Now you can see not much is the answer, because the latest update was like in June 2022, so it hasn't been updated for a little while. This also shows us all our recent posts, and it also shows us, as I scroll down, stories and a planner in terms of what's coming up. So they will also ask you to accept their terms when they change those. So you're always worth having a little look to see if there's something you need to action there. So that's our home screen. All right, so the next thing we want to look at is our notifications. Now, if you click on this, it just pops out with a little menu. I'll just give it a second. And this tells you when people have commented or messaged you about your content. And what you want to do is always have a little look at these to see what's happened, to make sure you're responding to people's comments and keeping on top of it. So that's all that does. Now, Sue's asked the question, you've got 2 business pages. How do you switch them on Meta? Really, really simple. Up on the top left-hand side here, I've got Online Social Butterfly. If I click down to that, I can switch between my Online Social Butterfly, and that's a couple of my clients down there. So you can always switch through up on that top left-hand menu there to switch between your accounts. It's really, really simple. So that's our notifications. Great. We're going to go to our inbox next. Now, I really like Meta Business Suite for this feature almost alone. If it did nothing else but this, I would still be a happy lady. So what Meta Business Suite does, and I'll just click off some of these messages so we're not all sitting there having a little look at them. So these are messages that people have sent and we want to respond to them. So remember, we can look at our messenger messages, our Instagram messages, and the choice is really yours as to what you want to do. So it's a really simple way. If you don't like answering messages on I'm just going to flick that over there. If you don't like answering messages on your phone in particular, this is a much easier way to do it. So consider using that feature. But one of the things I want you to notice is that under our automated responses on the top right-hand side, I want to help you make the most of your time, because I think that we spend a lot of time responding to people's messages when we don't really need to. So I want to show you some tools that you can set up that you can apply to Facebook and Instagram. So you choose which accounts you apply them to, because we want to have set up automated responders. Okay. I find people message me the same questions, and I want to make life easy for them so they get an instant reply. And I also want to lighten my load in terms of how quickly I feel like I need to reply. I generally am very busy during my days, typically training and coaching. So I just don't have that capacity to jump onto Facebook and MBS and reply to people's messages. But I want them to get served as quickly as possible. So I put some automated responses in place to help make that happen. So I'm going to show you what those are. So you can have an instant reply. And this means as soon as someone messages you, they can get an instant reply and it says, hi, how you going? Now, the frequently asked questions are definitely my favorite, and we're going to edit those, and I'm going to show you how to set these up. Now, what I would encourage you to think about is when people message you, do you get asked the same question? And could you set it up as an automated question so that you don't have to respond to people? So I get 3 questions. You can see them there. How do people book in with me through ASBAS, which is the program we're talking about today? What workshops do I have coming up? And how do I coach one-on-one with you? So I've set up those as the most frequently asked questions. You can set up more questions. Now, I'll just show you because I'll click on here and edit it. What's great about this is that I've put this as the question that people might want to ask, and you can see it there. And then this is the response. So it has a whole lot of information in terms of here's the form, here's who you can call, here's more information. And it also allows you, which I love, to put a button in there that people can also use as well. So this makes it really simple for people to connect with you and to get that information that they're looking for. So I would encourage you to check out automated responses, and particularly those questions, because the frequently asked questions are going to save you a lot of time. And not only that, they're going to make your audience really, really happy because they're going to get an instant reply to the question that they wanted asked. So if you haven't set that up before, please take some time today to do that, because it's going to save you time, which we love that. The other thing you can do is have an away message turned on. Again, I'm going to jump into the edit and show you how this works as a function. So what you really want people to do is have the capacity to know when they're going to get a reply. So people will message you at all times of the day and night for a variety of reasons. They might be in a different time zone to you. They might just be sitting there, in the evening trying to catch up on their work, and they want to send you a message to get it off their plate. Now, Jacqueline says, where do we locate the automated response? It is not showing on my screen. All right, so if you go to your inbox, Jacqueline, just to dial it back and I'll help everyone catch up. So on your inbox here is all your messages. And then if you go to the top right here is automated messages, and it should be just there. It can also be on the cog there under your settings. So have a little look for those as well. So just to jump back, it should be sitting up here under automated responses. So hopefully everyone has found that. If you are on the app, it's in a slightly different location, but if you're on a desktop, it's just on the top right here. So with our away message, again, we're setting expectations as to when people can expect a reply from us. So I don't want to feel like if I happen to be sitting on my phone and someone messaged me at 7 p.m. at night, I don't want to get into the habit of replying to people. Remember, I've got questions set up for them to help them. But I want it to be clear that I only respond during business hours. If I choose to respond outside that, that's my choice. But I want people to know that I'm not going to reply until business hours. So I have my business hours set from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's obviously in my time zone. So if you message me outside of those hours, you will get an automated response saying I'm closed, and that I will respond to your message the next business day. So this really sets expectations for people, because then they're like, I know she got my message and I know she's going to reply. And that's what we want people to feel confident about, is that we have heard their message and that we'll be getting back to them as soon as we can. So as you can see, I'm closed all day, Saturday and Sunday. I don't want to be working weekends. And then Monday to Friday, I'm just open, as you can see, those business hours. And so if you message me outside of that, you will get that I'm closed right now message. And again, you can customize this to whatever suits you and your business. So if you find that people need to access you really quickly and that you need to have that automated to say, if it's urgent, call me, or if it's urgent, email me, you can customize that message to suit you and your business. You can see I've just got a nice short message saying we're closed, we do value your message and respond to you the next business day. You have 500 characters. You can put quite a lot in there. So if you feel a little bit anxious to this, give them as much information as you possibly can. This is your opportunity to help people without you having to do it and respond outside of hours. So again, I would encourage you to set that up. Under our automated responses, we can also set, like with our away message, if we're on holidays, we can also set that away. So if you're on holidays over Christmas, make sure you let people know what's going on and when they can expect you. You can also share contact information and your location. So if people do come to your business, if you have a retail shop front or an office, do put that information in there, because people will be often looking and they'll look it up quickly to go, how do I get to that office and where was it located? So we want to make it nice and easy for them to do that. So again, these are tools that you can set up that take just a few minutes, and they're going to make a massive change to you and your business, particularly if you find yourself answering the same questions all day. It's really, really key to get those automated messages set up. So I'm going to jump back to my inbox now. And you can see that it says that I'm currently closed, and it says I'm away till 9 a.m. You know, so make sure you just check all of that. And then can you see that someone sent me a message and it's had an auto reply that's come straight away. I can actually send her a little message. I can add some details. So if I wanted to add some details about this person, I could add it that they're a new customer. I can add a label to them, and that helps me manage my inbox. So this inbox is becoming more like our email in terms of how we track and manage people. So it's really, really interesting to see that evolution. Remember, Meta's goal is to keep us on their products. They don't want us going over to our email where possible. All right, so that's our inbox. We're going to go to content next. Now, this used to be called posts and stories. So if you've seen this heading before and you're like, oh, what's this? If this is the first time you're coming to this tab, it will do a little tour for you, which I obviously don't need to do right now. And it will show you all of your posts that have come out. It will also show you all of your stories. If you've done tests, it will also, this is why I quite like, I think this is kind of a cool feature. It allows you to look at your Facebook newsfeed. So you can scroll through and have a look and see what that looks like at the moment. So you can see that's my feed at the moment. And it also allows me to have a look at my Insta feed, but I can also have a look at my grid. Now, if you are someone who loves to have a pretty perfect grid, this is your opportunity to preview it here. As you can see, I'm not. It's not my personality type. So this is really handy to be able to look through like your little feed and go, oh, that looks really good there, or that image hasn't rendered how I hoped. And you can go in and edit this in here, but it's always great to be able to have a little look to see how things are going. Remember that you can have a little look at your comments and links as well, just to see how things are performing. So do keep that in mind, that we definitely want to be able to review our content and make sure we're happy with it. And as you can see on the top right-hand side here, you can export your data. So you can export all of your posts that you've created over the last 30 days, if that floats your boat. You can create a story and you can create a reel. Now, the Reels function was added about a month ago, which is quite exciting, but it doesn't work as well as doing Reels natively in each platform. So we can now add all three content types within Meta Business Suites. That's been a big change for us in terms of additions in the last few weeks. Now, I don't tend to do them under content. I tend to do it under planner, and I'll show you in a minute how we do that. So if we go down to commerce, just click on that. So commerce is, as you can see here, it says that I'm not allowed to have a shop and I don't comply with their policies and all of that. So let me explain to you how commerce works on the Meta platforms, which is Facebook and Instagram. To have a commerce account, you must have a physical product, which means that it's tangible and people can touch and feel it. It cannot be a digital product. It cannot be a service like coaching, which is what I do. I'm a service-based business. So this was years ago and it still haunts me now. I tried to set up a commerce when it first started. I got declined, and now every time I log in here, it reminds me that I've been declined. Now, if you have a product-based business, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you set up commerce, okay? It has come such a long way in the last probably this year. It's really progressed a lot. So with your commerce, it now integrates really, really well with your website. So you don't need to maintain like two like you have your website with all your stock and inventory, and then you have like a Meta Business Suite where you have to maintain that. It will talk two ways to your website. So it manages your price changes, it manages your stock levels, all of that kind of thing. And what we do know, and the research is really definitive on this, when you tag a product, particularly on Instagram, you will get more sales than if you don't. So if you have a product-based business, you want to take the time to set it up here, to integrate it to your website, and then to tag products when you create posts. It is so important. Okay, so Belinda has just said, I just have posts and stories. Well, just know that if you refresh it, it should come through. It's certainly being rolled out for everyone. So hold tight because all of those features are definitely in the pipeline. All right, so I won't go into commerce because I can't do much here because I don't have a commerce account, but know a couple of things. One, it is quite simple to set up, and two, it works responsively and in real time with your website, so you're not managing multiple things at any given time. All right, we're going to jump to Planner as the next menu item that we want to take a look at. So with your planner, this will show you all of the content that you have posted. So you can see that it gives me today. I can have a month view to see all of my content that I've posted like this month. So it just shows December. I could go back and have a look at November if I wanted to. Now, this is really handy to see if you're posting consistently. So you can see I've got lots of content going out on different days. That's all really great. I don't use Meta Business Suite to schedule my content, hence why it looks like I've got nothing coming up. I use a couple of other scheduling tools, but I do like Meta Business Suite for things like on a Monday, I have a content ideas, and on Wednesday, I have podcasts. So those don't tend to get put up much in advance though. So let me just go through how we can use this, because this is a great feature if you want to get scheduled your posts, and a couple of other things we're going to do. I'm just going to move everyone's chat out the way. Okay, so up on the top right here, we've got a create button, and you can see that when we drop down that menu, we've got create post, story, reel, bulk uploads of videos, or create an ad. Now I'll come to ads in a minute, but we'll do the content to start with. So I'm going to start with a post to show you how that feature works. So when we're creating content, it allows us to choose where we're posting it to. So it can be Facebook and Insta, and you can do that at the same time. You can also post to up to 3 groups that your page is a member of at any given time. You can't post beyond 3 because it can kind of considers you spamming groups. So do keep that in mind. Now, when we're creating content, if we're going to post to Facebook and Insta at the same time, we want to do a couple more things to customize it for those platforms. So I'm going to choose both. All right, now we're going to choose a photo to add. So I'm just going to upload a photo from my desktop. What have I got there? I'm just trying to see what I'm going to pull up as an image. Let's see. That's just a Facebook one. Okay, so we'll pull up a post here, which is my Facebook content ideas. So that was actually for last week, and it's got a few ideas on there. So it's a nice image. And then I want to put a post here that says, all right. So that's a little comment that I've written, like to go with my image. So that's all fine. Now, once I have done that, there are a few features I can add. So I can add a feeling or an activity, which Facebook has had for a long time. I can add a location to my post. I can add get messages, which will allow it to people to message me through the post only on Facebook. I can boost posts, but we don't boost posts, so don't do that. I can do my split testing, which unless you've got a really big audience, I wouldn't really bother. And then you can add a link, which will remove like obviously you don't have links in your Instagram placement, so just keep that in mind. So if I want to customize them for each platform, I can click customize, and it will then allow me. So I would just say to buy now, visit my website, right? All right, and I'll just go grab my website link. Now, where are you? There. So then I can put that in there. So, oh, sorry. So what we know is that when we post at the same time to Facebook and Instagram, there are a couple of customizations that I want you to make sure that you are doing. It's really, really important. So on Facebook, you can always put links, like a link to your website in a post. I would recommend that you always copy and paste the full URL, because whatever device I'm on, it always creates a hyperlink. Whereas sometimes if you type www.onlinesocialbutterfly.com.au, it doesn't work on a mobile device. So I would always copy the full HTTPS because it creates a proper hyperlink. So good practice to do that. Now, the other thing we want to do is on Instagram, we don't want to, I'll just grab that because I've customized that. So on Instagram, remember, links don't work. You can't use links to create hyperlinks. So I would delete that on Instagram, and I would say visit my website, and then I'd put link in bio. So that's really helps people to get that. So that's that first customization that we want to do. If you're quite pedantic, I would customize your image sizes, and in Canva, you can do resizing. You know that Facebook is slightly more rectangular and Instagram has got the square option or the long portrait option. Both of those are available in Canva, so you have the latest sizing. I personally like to customize for the platforms, but I'm in social media, so I guess people kind of expect me to do that. So keep that in mind. So I've customized that content. The other thing I want to show you how to do, which I think is probably one of my favorite features of Meta Business Suite, is your ability to do hashtag research. So when it comes to hashtags on Facebook, we want 4 to 5 only. On Instagram, we want 30, which I know sounds like a lot, but I'm going to show you how we do a little bit of research and we do it nice and quickly. So if I click on at the bottom right here, the hashtag, I will click on that and it will pop up. Now it's going to show me what I have used recently. So if I click on recent, it shows me all of those. If I click on saved, it shows me all the ones I have saved. Now what I want to do is do a search, and this one is a content ideas. So I will look up my hashtags there and it will show me how often they're used on Instagram and how often they're used on Facebook. Now, Instagram hashtags have a lot lower usage, so don't stress if they look like they're not used as much. Obviously, Instagram uses hashtags a lot and they have high usage. Ideally, you're looking for hashtags that have been used more than 5,000 times so that people, we know that they're in usage and being searched, but probably under that 500,000, really, because if it's like 2 million, it's not going to give me any traction. So keep that in mind. So when I click on this one here, you can see it'll add it to the bottom. If that's something I think I'm going to use all the time, I can save it for later. Okay. So I can grab, those are both really low usage. So a lot of low ones there. I might just go back to content. 8.2 million is not going to do me many favors. Content writer, that's not a bad one. Content creator, way high, so probably not going to use that. Content writing's not bad. Content strategy is not bad. So I can save all of those as well. So you can see how quickly it is to get 30 done. And I might just put in here something like Facebook posts because that's what it's about. So I can grab some of those as well. So I will save them for later too. So again, really, really quick to get your hashtags up and running. So Melinda has asked, are you able to explain how to convert a page to a business account? It seems that we might just have a standard account, not a business account. It's impacting how staff members are able to work. I don't cover that today, Melinda. What you actually need to do is you need to set up under Business Suite, you need to set up Business Manager. So to do that, I'll just show you really quickly. Under your tools at the bottom here, there is the capability to under here, what you're really wanting to do is under manage your business apps. So that's something that's quite time consuming to do. And you want to make sure when you've done that, you want to add permissions to people to do different tasks. So that's creating a business manager account. Once you have a business manager account, it then allows you to add assets, which include like your Facebook page, your Instagram profile. It allows you to add people and allows you to give people specific permissions to do that. So unfortunately, I don't cover that in today's because I would run out of time. But just know that what you're looking to do is set up yourself as a business manager and to add assets and to add people to do that. Okay. Ori said, can you show us again how you open the search box for hashtags? Absolutely. Let me just wind that back. So when we are on, and Melinda, I will just say, if that's something you do need help with, I can definitely help with that. And it would be worth you booking an ASBAS session with me and we can get all that fixed. It is a really common problem that's a bit of a mess. So don't be hard on yourself. All right, so on my post here, so I can be on my Facebook or Insta, it doesn't really matter. They both have that little hashtag on the bottom right-hand corner there. And that's what we're going to click on. And that's where we see what's popular, what have I used recently, and what have I got saved. And if you have lots saved, your life will be so much easier. I would really love it. They had it for a little while where your banks, you could save them under themes. And then it kind of came and went. I was like, oh, where did that feature go? I would really love it if we had them saved in like little banks of like content, like the different types of posts that I create. So we've got our hashtags there. Now, just to let you all know, in terms of best practice, your hashtag should go directly beneath your post. So you should have a post, put a couple of lines. I don't like seeing all those dots. I think it's just it's kind of a bit old hat. So put a couple of enters, so it just moves your content and it separates them from your hashtags. So last year we were told by Moseri from Instagram that best practice was to put your hashtags in your post. It was not to put them in the comments. So if Instagram tells us what to do, that's what we're going to do. So we'll follow their lead. We always put them in the posts when we're using them. Now, someone said, how did you save the tags? So when you go to searching for a tag, so let's just put content. On the right-hand side here, there's a little save. Can you see that? So see those ones have been saved. And so I can just save that one for later if that's what I wanted to use. So I hope you've got that now. So awesome. Excellent. Okay, so that's how we create our post. We're happy with that. See how it allows you to connect a product? It always thinks I've got a product, even though I don't. It's quite frustrating. Now, I can publish this now. I can schedule it for later, or I can save it as a draft. If you're kind of like, oh, I haven't quite got the right image, just save it as a draft and come back to it. If you want to schedule it, you can hit the schedule button, and it then allows you to choose on Facebook and Instagram times that you might want to schedule. You can ask it for active times. And for some reason, I don't really like this, it's always saying the best time to post on my Facebook is 6 p.m. I have been into other clients' MBS and it has the same time. I don't believe that that can be correct, that everyone's best time is 6 p.m. So I tend to disregard that, and I will show you in Insights how we can get some more useful data on that. So you can schedule it like in advance, you can choose a date and time. So really simple for you to do that and have your posts scheduled out. So I love scheduling things and getting them done in advance. I don't like to be thinking about my content on a day-to-day basis. All right, so that's everything on scheduling a post. So I'm just going to discard that because I don't want to save it especially. I want to just show you quickly stories and also reels. So if we go here to create, we can create a story. And I wanted to show you this. It does not have as many features as if we post natively on Facebook and Insta stories. So just know that to start with. I'm just going to see if I've got an image that might be longer, but I don't think it's long enough. We'll soon see. So we obviously want to add an image that has the right dimension. So if you're using Canva, Facebook or Insta Stories is like a nice portrait size image. So you can see that image. I said it wasn't quite long enough, and it's not. It's just cut off at the bottom. That was made for an Instagram portrait post, which is slightly longer but not full length. So I can add my image. I can add a video there as well. I can crop it. I can add text over the top. So I can write a little comment. I can choose my font and my color. So, you know, somewhat helpful. Let's just go to Courier and let's go to black. And I'm going to add my text and say, jump on. Why are you not working? So I've got a little tips there, and then I can move that, like make it bigger and smaller. And once I'm done, all right, I'm not great at this, I have to be honest. It's not my favorite at all. So you can spin it around. I can move it up here like this, and then I can click off it so it's all done. Oh, that deleted it, sorry. So you can add text, which you can see I don't use this a lot. You can add stickers. Stickers are okay, but there's no GIFs, which I absolutely love. So you can drop a sticker in, pop that in, so you're all good. The additional features, at the moment, the swipe up link is only available if you have more than 10,000 fans. So please keep that in mind, that you can't access the swipe up link. And I don't know why they put it there, because most people don't have 10,000 fans, but just know that that's coming in terms of your capability. So that gives you something to grow for if you don't have 10,000 fans currently. So you can see it doesn't have anywhere near the features that we would get if we're posting natively on Insta or Facebook. But if you want to kind of get some stories scheduled and you want to take a little break, this is a great time to do it. Again, I can share my story now, or I can schedule it in advance, as I did with my normal post. Stacey said, you're hoping to use Meta as my only content planner. Are there reasons you advise against this? My only reason that I don't use it is because I schedule all of my content. So I schedule my content to Facebook and Instagram, as well as Google Business, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. So I have 5 platforms that I'm scheduling out to at any given time. And so if I was to use Meta Business Suite, it wouldn't allow me to schedule to my other platforms. If I was only intending to schedule to Facebook and Insta, I would use MBS in a heartbeat. It is absolutely brilliant. And at the moment, a lot of your scheduling tools don't allow you to schedule Reels. So if that's something you want to jump on, it's going to give you a bit of a competitive advantage. So I'm going to close that now. I'm going to cancel the story. We're now going to have a little look at Reels. So we'll go to create a Reel. As you can see, it has a little bit of features, but it doesn't have enough for me. And one of the, we know, so I can add my video here. I'll just see if I've got any videos that are in my downloads. Well, that might be a video. Let's have a look. I'll just open that up. What scheduler do I recommend? So I personally use Recur Post, which is, I'll just pop that in the chat. It is a page scheduling tool. I've used it for many, many years. And yeah, I love it a lot. Now, did someone ask, what is a good frequency for posting on Facebook and Instagram? Let me answer that question for you. My recommendation is usually at least once a day. But what I always say to people is whatever you are posting right now, the idea is sustainable improvement, okay? So if you leave today's webinar and you're posting once a month and you hear me say once a day, you're going to post for the next 5 days and then you're going to have a complete panic and meltdown and not post again. And that's not what we want for you and your business. We want you to improve and it be sustainable. So I post typically twice a day. I am in social media. But here's what I know. If you are posting once a month, I would encourage you to post once a week and give yourself a few weeks to try out that once a week and see how you go. Once you've got a handle on that, move to twice a week, see how you go. It might take you like 6 months to go from where you are now to posting once or twice a day, but it's going to be done in a way that you have taken it into your business, achieved it, and it's sustainable. And that's what's most important. So I want you to think about how you can improve how much you're posting, but do it in a way that feels like I can keep going with this, because that's really, really important. All right, I think I've got, if I've missed anyone's questions, please just pop it in the chat. I'm trying to keep up with it while I'm talking as well. All right, so this is, it's not actually a reel, but it's just a little video. So I'm just going to use that for now because it only lets you use that. So you can see that allows me to put a caption for my reel. So this is early bird offer. I'll just put that. I don't know what else it is. I don't even think it's valid. All right. So you can add collaborators. You can choose a frame, which is your home thumbnail. You can upload an image, but there is not a lot that you can do. So you can create, edit, and share in here. So at the moment, I want to edit. And so it allows me to crop and trim a little bit of my videos. It allows me to add audio. Now, this is really, really important because adding audio is such a massive part of Reels. So I would encourage you when you're doing it to add audio in here. So you can see that I can add my audio, I can crop my video. It's like a 5-second video, so I won't be doing that. And I can trim it as well to keep it under 60 seconds. I'm not sure why that is because it's 90 seconds on Insta. Maybe it's only 60 on Facebook still. So that's where I can play with it. I can then edit it and then I can share it. So really, really helpful to work your way through those. So remixing is where you can mix yours with others. You can now schedule your reel or save it as a draft. So lots of features that they've added in here. And to me, I have to say, I think that they've actually done a better job of allowing you to schedule reels than they have with stories, which is fascinating because stories has been around so much longer, but obviously reels are an important part of your content. So if you're struggling with reels, this is a really great way for you to get on top and try them and kind of get a jump on getting some reels put out in there. Now, I think I've got everyone's questions answered, so I'll just jump back so we don't accidentally post a reel. We definitely don't want to do that. So that is in our planner, the main features in terms of reviewing our content, creating stories, posts and reels, and doing hashtag research. So lots of functions. As you can see, planner is probably my favorite section. I do love getting my like things scheduled and organized in advance. Belinda's asked, how do I get good audio? I suggest you use whatever's in Instagram. It depends what you're going to do. If you're going to use MBS, you can only access the audio that they've got. If you're in a Facebook or Insta, I would suggest that you listen to audios, look for what's trending and save that to use in your reels. There are whole platforms dedicated to trending music as well. If you're into TikTok, you can just put TikTok trending audio and it will come through Google and you'll have lots of responses. I tend to just listen to what's trending on Insta and then I choose something that's trending quite well. So hopefully that helps. Christmas music is trending right now, FYI. Okay, we're going to jump into ads now. And this is actually the ad center. So if you are big into Facebook ads, I do not want you using this area in MBS, okay? And the reason is really, really simple. It doesn't have all of the features that you'll have in Ads Manager. So the 3 ways in which you can create ads, you can boost them. So remember I said you don't want to be boosting posts because it only optimizes the content for engagement, not for link clicks. This is what we normally want. Ad Center allows us to use boosted posts, videos and events, which again, really limited. I would always recommend that you use Ads Manager. And what this does do in MBS is it gives us a bird's eye view of what is currently happening. So you can see, remember I mentioned I've got lead ads running at the moment. So I've got a lead ad there. It tells me my reach, my leads that I've generated and my money that I've spent. What should we do if Meta permanently disable our Instagram account? I've not heard of Meta permanently disabling people's Instagram accounts. The only reason that they would do that is if you were non-compliant, i.e. you shared content that violated their terms. If that has happened, you can put in a request to have it reactivated. You typically get a warning about your content if that's the case. They do disable ad accounts, and those are usually for serious breaches again of their guidelines. So keep that in mind. It doesn't typically happen without warning first. So yeah, it's a tough thing if that's happened to you. It's not easy to have that reversed. All right, so with your ads, this is handy for a bird's eye view to see what I've spent. So it says in the last 60 days, I've spent $2,800 on ads and I've had 3 ads running, and this is what it all looks like. So it's kind of handy, but honestly, I'm watching my ads inside Ads Manager. I don't tend to use it in here. So do keep that in mind that if you're really serious about running ads, ideally you want to be running them in Ads Manager, not through Meta Business Suite, not through Ad Center, and not through boosted posts. So you can have this will show me a breakdown of my ads and what's currently working. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it's now changed ad accounts. Can you see that the last ad I created in here was in 2019? So from having the right ad account, pulling the data through here, it's now switched to my old disabled ad account. So even that integration isn't as seamless as what I would like it to be because it's flipped between 2 ad accounts when I go from summary to below. All right, so that's enough about ads. I would talk about those all day. I love ads. All right, so let's have a little look at our insights and what's going on here. So it'll always pop up when you jump into this screen with a quick snapshot of what's happened in your business. So this is how much content you've published. This is how you're working towards your goals. And these are your results in terms of your reach over the last week, which is great. It's good to see those. So I'll click off that. And it will then jump us into our insights. So we always start with our goals at the top here. So if you hadn't set any goals, you can set these now. So you can go to new goal and you can see I'm working towards getting more Facebook page likes. So if I go new goal, I can choose what I want to do. So I can choose it for my Facebook and Instagram, and I can choose, do I want more reach or do I want more followers? Now, I'm a big fan of putting goals in my business simply because I think it helps you perform. So if I want to grow my followers, which is I like to do that, I choose that as my goal. I hit next. And it gives me a recommendation. If you're starting out, it says that for Facebook, you might want to get 56 new likes because that's how many I achieved last month. If I want to have a little stretch, I can go to 62. If I want to go hard, I can go to 70. So I might go for advanced and set that as my goal. I then can do the same with Instagram. So I'll just do Insta this time and I'll grow my followers. And see for Instagram, if I go for advanced, I need to get 130 because I got 103. So really great way to kind of set your challenge. It obviously now resets my stats. So, keep that in mind that we want to keep on top of that. Now, this data here, I'm just going to move this out of the way. The chat tells us how things are performing. Now you can see your account performance, so that's not super helpful, but I like this data here, as in how many people have followed me and what is their demographics. Now, this information you should know who your ideal customer is, and this is really, really important. Who is it that you want to attract to your business? So I know my ideal customer are female entrepreneurs aged 35 to 55. That is most of my audience. And when I have a look at this demographic here, most of my audience are female. You can see I've done a good job of attracting those. And that age range there is really high. No worries. Thanks for letting me know, Amanda. Yeah, catch the replay on YouTube, definitely. All right. So, yeah, I love having a look at these. I would suggest that you compare your insights on Insta and Facebook with your Google Analytics. They give you a really great overview of what and how things are going in your business. And it's really important that you understand that. So, those bits of data combined should tell you who your audience is and who you're attracting to your business, because that then allows you to talk to those people. And I can't stress how important that is for any business to make sure you know who it is that you need to speak to. So we're going to go to our results. And this shows us here how things are going. So you can see that my reach, all my numbers are in red, and it's because I've paused a lot of my ads at the moment because they're expensive to run during Christmas. And so your reach is organic and paid. So mine's obviously down at the moment because of my lack of ads. But what is good to know is how many new followers are you getting? So you can see there's my paid reach there. So it's really important to keep your eye on this data to make sure you're putting content out regularly and you're connecting and engaging with your audience. So again, you can change the date range on this. So you can export it. So at the moment, it's the last 28 days, and you can customize it if you want to. So I can have last 90 days, last 7 days, this year. You can do whatever it is that you'd like to do to see the data that you're trying to track. So if you've got a launch and you want to just track the last 7 days, you can do that as well. So lots of date ranges available on the top right-hand corner. With your audience, this again, you can see I've just reset that goal. I must have just got 4 fans while I've been talking, which is interesting. But here's what we want to know. We want to know, do I know who my audience is? So yes, it's definitely on track there. And also, what is their location? So the left-hand column here is Facebook, the right-hand is Insta. Now, if your business can only service people in a specific geographic area, keep in mind that you want to make sure you're only attracting those people. So I have a digital business with digital products, and I can service people everywhere. So obviously Perth is my hometown, so it's always going to be my biggest city. But you can see that, especially on Insta, I've attracted people a lot more globally than I have on Facebook, which is the nature of Instagram. So good to check this data to kind of go, oh, do I have I done a good job of attracting my audience? Are they in the right location? Are they who I think they are? So really, really helpful for that. With your feedback, this is if someone gives you a negative feedback in terms of a rating that you need to respond. So they've reported your page. Hopefully you don't get any of those. Now, benchmarking. All right, that's just updated as well. So this will tell us, where does our business sit in terms of a comparison. So I published 119 pieces of content in the last 28 days on Instagram. So this puts my business here in really high percentile. So it's sitting really high. So it's higher than others. Other posts, they typically post 46 pieces of content. The reason that's so high is because I post so many stories, if you're wondering. So all really good because it says I'm higher than others. If I want to flick over and go to Facebook, this then tells me again, my business is performing higher than others. So I'm right in the top percentile, which is fantastic. So we want to know that our business is going well. The other thing that we can do is we can track and monitor other businesses. So they don't get notified if you're following them, but I think it's a great idea to do this. So I will follow some big players like HubSpot and Amy Porterfield, see what their business is doing, how they're growing. It's really important to put in businesses here that you're interested in following and getting the data on. So if I was to change this to Instagram, I can then see how they're performing on Insta as well. So really good to have a little look and see how you're performing as a benchmark against other people. I think it's so key. So keep that in mind. The other insights that we have are obviously an overview of our content to see how our content is performing. So helpful to have a look at that. And you can see which posts perform best. Obviously ones with links perform best for me. And having a little look at how everything's going. So which post performed the best in the last 90 days was this one here. and it received 1,575% more reactions than your average post. So it really was a cracker of a post, which is great to know that people like those high engagement type posts. So always good to look at that, always good to look at your content. It will allow you to sort your content in terms of, it'll show most recently, but you can then sort it in terms of what had the best reach in the last, it's reverted back to 28 days. Which should be that post. It takes a little while to think about it. So it was a story on Instagram that had my highest or lowest reach. Sorry, need to sort it the other way. So that performed really, oh, that's actually an ad. Sorry, we need to take those two out because they're really high. But then how to make money from your e-commerce had a reach of over 2,000. So that's a workshop coming up, I think, next year. So that's done really, really well. So it's good to see what's performed well and what you should do more of. Your messaging insights tell you how you're performing in terms of responding to your messages, that kind of thing. So your average response time, your response rate. Again, you want to be tracking this to make sure you're keeping on top of people and responding to them in a timely manner. We won't go through videos because you may or may not be using those. As I mentioned, the hamburger menu has a bunch of other tools that allow you to do things like manage your business manager, check out things like if you're gaming, that kind of thing. So quite specific areas. Really up to you as to how you want to use those, but definitely having a look at your page settings to check that you are an admin, that kind of thing on your page. Checking those are always really important. If you have appointments set up, check that that integration is still working. That's a good place to manage that. And that's pretty much everything in terms of Meta Business Suite. So I'll just stop the screen share, bring myself back here and go back over to sharing this screen. So just to wrap up today, I hope that you have enjoyed the webinar. I know it's a whistle-stop tour. I could probably talk all day on MBS and still have more questions for you to answer. But this is meant to be an overview to get you started and to kind of give you that confidence to create and using MBS. So as I mentioned at the beginning of today's webinar, you can work with us through the Digital Solutions ASBAS program. And under this program, you get 7 hours of mentorship for $44. So that's made up of 4 hours of workshops and webinars and 3 hours of one-to-one advisory. Now, these are across different areas, particularly to help you as a small business owner improve your digital skills. That's what the federal government has funded this program for. So if you are interested, you can work with me as your preferred advisor. So obviously I am on the team. My areas of expertise are obviously Meta and particularly ads and organic content. I love talking content and Canva. And obviously because I've been around, I will talk digital strategy with you all day. It's definitely my thing. So to find out if you are eligible, you have to have an ABN registered in WA, Queensland, or the Northern Territory. You have to be running a for-profit business, so not a not-for-profit, and you have to have less than 20 full-time employees. So if you're interested, you can follow that link there. But if you go to the Business Station website, it's on the homepage, Digital Solutions. Register for it. You put me down as your preferred advisor, Sarah Thomson. You will then be allocated to me and you book in your first session and we get started. I do have a few spots still available before Christmas. So if you're interested, love to. If you're a not-for-profit, this program is not funded for not-for-profits, unfortunately. So you can have a look at what other funding is available, or you can use your own ABN and access it through that. So if you have an ABN or someone in that not-for-profit does, you can access it through that as well. All right. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you've learned a lot. That makes me really, really happy. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And remember, the recording will be on the Business Station YouTube channel before too long. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.